30 and 31 probably, but she falls down, hip break, so she can't get up. She's like, I go in the house, she's like, Jake, Junior, just leave me, go ahead, save your sisters and brothers, save them, don't worry about me. I'm like, Mom, I'm not let you die in this fire, because now the smoke is black, I'm choking everything. All I can do is remember just helping her up, getting her out of the house. She's crying, her hip is there, all that stuff. I'm dragging her to the house, Mom, come on, let's go. She get out of the house, ambulance, everything coming to get her in the ambulance. She thinks me saving her life. After that, my mother went to the hospital for maybe 11 months straight. I only seen her at that time for 6 months out of time. I only seen her maybe 3 times out of the 6 months. Then after that last part of the 6 months, I saw her like almost every day. But that first 6 months was hard because when she went to the hospital for 11 months straight, I went to foster care. Nobody could take care of us. My brothers and sisters went to foster care. Being in foster care was really hard. It was hard. When I was in foster care, I didn't eat pork. Because my stepfather was Muslim, my mother was Christian. I didn't eat pork. I was in foster care, Mr. and Mrs. Brooks. I played basketball in high school. I was in high school at the time. I was in 9th grade, like I said. 9th to 10th grade, going into 10th. My stepfather wasn't around. He was cheating by this time with some other woman, and he had another kid. They were still married, but he was cheating. They were living together, but he was just never around. So when the people came for foster care, for the child takers came to give us like to see if we could fit to live with him, he never showed up to the meeting so we can keep staying in our house or get a new house. He never showed up to the meeting. So therefore they forced us to go in foster care. And he never showed up. Like every time we had meetings, he never would come. He never would come. He came maybe one time, and that was to pick us up after the meeting was over. That's how sick he was. In foster care, I was kicked out of foster care because I came home late one night from a basketball game. My coach dropped me off. I came home late one night, and they told me like, Jake, if you come home late at past 10 o'clock, I'm not letting you in. I said, well, I'm in school. I'm having basketball games. I'm gonna get out late sometimes. Of course, you're gonna drop me off, so you know I'm not out in the street doing anything. Let me in the house. They said no. We're not gonna let you in the house. So you better do something. Find a way to do something. So I said, okay. So one day, I come in the house. It was like maybe 9 o'clock. There's a lock on the refrigerator. I'm like, why is the lock on the refrigerator? And the lock was on the refrigerator because since I didn't eat pork, they didn't want me to go in the refrigerator and try to find something else to eat. They would cook pork and beans, ham hocks, chitlins, whatever they was making. They would make it in abundance and eat it. My brothers and sisters, my brothers would be there, and they weren't allowed to eat it. So they would let them sit in the room and starve and not have nothing but drink water out of the sink in the bathroom until I get home. So therefore, I would have games or practice, whatever, and I had to come home early just to bring them food from school. I would go to school, throw snacks and sandwiches in my bag from the cafeteria. Some people knew my situation kind of a little bit, so they would give me stuff. I would take the bag, go to foster care, drop the bag off. I say, listen, don't eat this until 1 o'clock in the morning until they're sleeping. Because if you eat it now and they see it, they're gonna take it and throw it away. So they would hide it. I get home, I sneak in through the window somehow. I get there, all of a sudden, we in there eating. Cold sandwiches, milk from earlier in that day, or whatever we had, that's what we had to eat. We ate it. Once again, I'm taking care of somebody, my brothers and sisters. I had to. My sisters, I didn't even know them. I didn't even see them for 2.5 months, 3 months while we was in foster care because of the fact that they never gave us the information for foster care, for their location. So I couldn't see them for 3 months out of my life when I was in high school. So then, that brings me to the time when the last time foster care. So one day I'm coming back from school, had a game, knocking on the door, they locked me out again. They told me, I'm knocking on the door, the light goes on, the lady, she looks out the window, she sees me downstairs, she turns the light back off, don't never open the door. So I started walking. For 1.5 years after that, not 1.5 years, close to a year, probably a year, yeah, maybe 1.5 years almost, I was living in a house that got burned down. So you can take yourself homeless. No electricity, no fire. I ain't had no wood to burn no fire on, no marshmallows on. I had none of that. I was living in a half burnt down house. The top was missing. Downstairs was cloudy. Walls were black. I was living in a house. I made a nice little spot for me. Had a nice little bed. You know, some sheets and some covers and everything, some pillows. Cleaned it up. Cleaned the bathroom out. That's what I was living in. Still going to school every day. Still going to school. If that's not drive, or motivation, inspiration, I don't know what is. If somebody is living in a house that's burnt down because it was still there, our belongings and the furniture was still, actually it kind of wasn't because people was looting our house like it was Walmart or something. They was just taking everything. So I really didn't have nothing else in there, but whatever was in there, it was just in there. No TV, no nothing. All I had was that and a basketball court across the street from me. I could play basketball at. That's all I had. I was living in a house for a long time. Every day, still going to school. Teachers ask me what's going on, what's wrong with me, am I okay? I'm telling them yes. I'm telling them yes, like I'm fine. I'm still shoveling the snow, still cutting grass, still doing what I got to make money. End of sophomore year come, high school, 11th grade year come. I got a job working at like Wilson Farms. Is it Wilson Farms in Buffalo? Okay, so Wilson Farms, I know what it is. Wilson, like a top something. Working at Wilson Farms. At the time, my brothers and sisters, they kind of, I think they got out of foster care, and they were living with other family members. And at this time, I had gotten my own apartment. I had figured out how to get an apartment by lying, saying I was older or something like that. I forgot how I got it, but I got an apartment. I got an apartment, some little rinky-dink, little small box. It was, I mean, it was. I had electricity in it, but I was working, I had a job, so I could pay for the bills. The rent was only like $350 a month for 2 bedrooms or something like that. So I mean, you know, it was nothing good. So I was living in that. When I was living in there, 11th grade year, I can remember one crazy thing happened to me. My stepfather came home one day from, I don't know where he was at. He was from out of town somewhere. He came from Columbus, Ohio, I think it was. He came back, and I was in my apartment. He came over and said he wanted to talk to my mother and stuff like that because she had went to this thing called hospice. Hospice is when pretty much you know you're gonna die. But see, she was in hospice, but hospice pretty much, they weren't really calling it hospice at the time. She was in the hospital. Hospice pretty much was right next door to it. She was in a place where you go before you go to hospice, pretty much. I don't know what you call it. But anyway, my stepfather come home. I go to my mother. Me and him went to my mom. He said he had something to tell me about my mother. I said, what do you got to tell me about my mother? He said, well, she's not doing too good. You should go see her. I said, okay, cool. I'm gonna go see her. Even though I had already been going to see her and stuff, this particular day he just told me I should go see her. So I went and saw her. I went and saw her. The doctor told me, your mother has 6 months to live. He said, do what you're gonna do now, because I can guarantee you, by the end of the next year, which will be my senior year, your mother will not be alive. He said, the only thing about that is, she can't have junk food. My mother always loved junk food. He said, you can't sneak a junk food, that'll make it worse. And don't scare her or make her upset, because that'll make it worse. And he said, she can never come home from this day forward. So, unless you're prepared to see her every day in the hospital, don't come back. And I'm like, man, I sat down, I'm like, don't come back, don't see my mother. Nah, I can't do that. I have to come back. I have to come back and see her. But honestly, for a week, I didn't go see her. Because all I could do every single day was cry for a week straight. I didn't go to school for a week straight. I cried for a week straight. I sat in the house for a week straight, didn't get a haircut, didn't do nothing. Didn't do nothing. Basketball, didn't do nothing for a week straight. When I sat in the house, someone told me like, listen, your mother does not want you sitting in the house feeling sad, feeling sorry for yourself. She needs you out here being strong for your brothers and sisters, She needs you being motivated, being inspired. She needs you out here doing something with yourself, not sitting around being sad. So one day I got up, got my little shirt and tie in, because I always wore shirt and tie. Got my shirt and tie in and went to high school. I went to school, teachers always trying to tell me, Jake, it's going to be okay. When your mother's in the hospital, don't worry about it.